Coming up on CBC Vancouver News.
We exhausted all possible ways to find any survivors.
A search for 6 missing people suspended after a charter boat sinks in the Strait of Georgia. Plus,
I woke up having a heart attack due to the stress of the extreme heat.
as we mark 5 years since the deadly heat dome in this province, growing calls for more government action. And
the Canada-Switzerland match brought the highest single-day ridership TransLink our system has seen in more than 6 years.
the FIFA World Cup reaches the halfway mark. A look at the benefits for BC.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Janella Hamilton. Thanks for joining us. 6 people are missing and feared dead after a boat sank off Richmond Sunday. Exactly what happened remains a mystery. 4 people did survive. The RCMP Underwater Recovery Team has now been called in. Caroline Bargut has the latest.
There's the dinghy.
It was from this sailboat navigating the waters off BC that Brian Angus and Dorothy Stauffer made a life-saving discovery. 5 people in distress, floating on their backs in the water. There was no debris or boat in sight.
They just caught my eye. They were lying flat. If we had been 50 yards away, we would have never seen them.
They were in the Georgia Strait, about 20 kilometers southwest of Vancouver's International Airport, and they weren't wearing life jackets.
It was frightening. It was just all we did to get them out of the water.
We monitor channel 16, which is the emergency frequency. No call for an emergency, none at all.
Sailing yacht Malaika, Victoria Coast Guard radio. Copy, you have 5 people in the water.
The couple called in a mayday to alert the Coast Guard, then used the dinghy they were towing to rescue those stranded in the frigid water. But they lost sight of 2 of them.
But to see this and know that I could only save 3
And we had no
was
idea.
a tough decision.
And we had no idea there were so many people out there. I just saw the 5 people.
10 people in total are believed to have been on the charter fishing boat when it capsized Sunday. Search and rescue crews, including police vessels and helicopters, searched for hours. 3 ferries also joined in. Natasha Jung and her family were on one of them.
It seemed like everyone was doing their best, both on our ferry as well as, the other ships, to, try to spot people in the water.
By Sunday afternoon, 4 people had been rescued. RCMP say 2 remain in critical condition. The other 6, 4 men and 2 women, are presumed drowned.
We're very confident that had there been any survivors on the water, on the surface, we would have located them with our technology in the search conditions.
RCMP have taken over the case and are investigating.
Everything that we are doing is focused on those families and determining what happened to their loved ones.
A lot of questions remain, including what caused this vessel to sink and why no one was wearing a life jacket. The importance of wearing one is what Brian Angus and Dorothy Stauffer really want to hammer home tonight. Caroline Bargut, CBC News, Richmond, BC.
As we mark the 5-year anniversary of the heat dome in BC, advocates are reigniting calls on the province to divest from fossil fuels. As Michelle Gassoub reports, they say the ongoing heat wave in Europe is a reminder of how deadly extreme heat can be.
The 2021 heat dome in BC claimed the lives of 619 people and brought others to the brink.
On this very day, 5 years ago, I woke up having a heart attack due to the stress of the extreme heat interacting with my chronic illness.
Europe is now baking under a dangerous heat wave, and the death toll there is climbing.
In 2003, France lost 15,000 people in a heat event. They just lost 1,000 more. And what has been done? They did a lot, except emissions still climb.
Now a group of doctors, first responders and advocates is calling on the province to respond to the dangers of extreme heat, including divesting from fossil fuels like LNG and setting maximum indoor temperature standards, a move already made by the city of New West.
We are the first municipality in Canada to bring in the right to cool, which means that one room in each apartment building will be kept by the building owner under 26 degrees.
The province says since the heat dome, it's launched a new heat alert system and amended BC's building code, among many other things. But these advocates say the root cause of hotter summers must be addressed.
Something that we need to do is stop pouring fuel on the fire. If there's a wildfire burning, you don't put it out by fanning the smoke away. So we need to deal with the root cause of climate change, which is driving extreme heat, which is continued expansion and use of fossil fuels.
They warn if another heat dome were to happen today, more British Columbians would lose their lives. Michelle Gassoub, CBC News, Vancouver.
Steve Jung is here with a first look at our weather. And Steve, are we expecting more heat in the future?
Well, Janella, as we head towards the midweek point of this week, it looks like we can expect just a bit more in terms of showers as we get through the next couple of days, including here on the south coast. Looks like we might actually get a little bit of rain as we get ready for Canada Day. But we can see over much of the province, northern, central, and southern parts of BC, the showers Tuesday and Wednesday coming in quite scattered. It will still be fairly heavy at intervals, but not really the whole a real downpour as we had seen maybe just a few days ago. But as we get to Thursday in the afternoon and the evening, we will see more of that making its way over to the province as those systems begin to form. We are monitoring the changes for fire danger here in BC. We can see now large parts of central and northern BC now under low to very low fire danger rating, which is a very encouraging sign compared to what we saw a few days ago. But we'll talk more about the rain coming up later in the show.
Thanks so much, Steve. It's been a deadly year on the water in BC, and summer is just getting started. This as police in Kelowna investigate a possible drowning at Okanagan Lake. The BC Life Saving Society says at least 21 people have now died this year. Alana Kelly has more on how you can help stay safe.
It's a sure sign of summer. Parking lots are packed and the waterfronts are busy.
We had a really warm, bright, sunny May. We were all excited and cheering for the beginning of an early summer, but that also brought more people out to our waterfronts.
A deadly trend is surfacing. At least 20 people have fatally drowned in the province this year, according to Life Saving Society.
It's a trend that we want to see go down, and it's really disheartening to see that it's going up.
This time last year, 14 people had died from drowning.
We're also moving into July, which is typically one of the worst months of the year for drowning.
Life Saving Society says people are bringing life jackets with them, but they're not wearing them.
The other common risk factor, there's a lot of times where people will choose to swim alone or to go boating alone.
In the Sea to Sky region, 3 paddleboarders have died this year. 2 of them died here at Browning Lake. There is no rescue equipment or loaner life jackets at this location. Life Saving Society says having them here could help.
The first thing you should think of is calling others for attention and then looking to see, is there something that I can throw, reach? Is there something that I can extend out to them so to bring them in safely without endangering myself?
BC Adventure Smart offers free online courses people can take to stay safe on the water.
It's for non-motorized vessels, so canoes, kayaks, stand-up paddleboards. It sets you up for success.
It goes over training, trip planning, and essential items to pack.
So that you're comfortable, safe, and can make good decisions before you go, but also know what to do if something does happen.
Last year, the BC Coroner Service says 93 people drowned to death. The most common activity was swimming.
Our most dangerous lake is Lake Okanagan, and I would say that Cultus and Harrison have high numbers as well.
Drownings can happen in a matter of seconds and in a few inches of water.
Drowning is the leading cause of accidental death in children aged 1 through 5.
Conditions can change quickly while swimming outdoors. She encourages people to speak up if they see unsafe behavior.
I think we need to have that sense of community, of helping each other out and politely giving each other tips and tricks.
As it could help save a life. Alana Kelly, CBC News, Squamish.
The Correctional Service of Canada says a body recovered in the waters off Vancouver Island is that of an inmate who appears to have escaped. The government agency confirms the body of Ernest Jensen was found. He was reported missing from William Head Institution in Metchosin on Sunday. Jensen had been serving a life sentence for murder. BC nurses have issued a 72-hour strike notice. It comes after nurses recently rejected a tentative agreement reached by the union's bargaining association. The union's president says nurses continue to struggle with workload pressures, unsafe working conditions, and staffing shortages.
For years, nurses across this province have continued to show up. Through the pandemic, through staffing shortages, through workplace violence, through overcrowded emergency rooms and hallway nursing. We have showed up through growing workloads, increased patients' needs, and through public health emergencies such as the heat dome and the toxic drug crisis.
She says while the tentative agreement saw improvements to benefits and shift premiums, nurses have made it clear it did not go far enough. The union says job action could be anything from an overtime ban to a large-scale withdrawal of services, excluding essential services. Halfway through the FIFA World Cup, several organizations involved in hosting the tournament in Vancouver are providing an update on the impacts. Benit Brach has the details.
As thousands of fans take in the World Cup in Vancouver, what have been some of the impacts so far? Well, we have some updates.
FIFA has reported the first 5 matches at BC Place Vancouver were full houses, with more than 52,000 fans at each match, and more than 330,000 people have attended the FIFA Fan Festival so far.
Now, when it comes to accommodating all of those fans, TransLink says it's seen record highs for ridership.
The Canada-Switzerland match brought the highest single-day ridership TransLink, our system, has seen in more than 6 years.
She says TransLink is adjusting hours to meet all of that demand. Since the tournament began, Vancouver International Airport is reporting about 1.8 million passengers have gone through its gates.
We remain fully prepared to support the next wave of arrivals and departures, including teams, fans and officials returning home.
And inside BC Place, organizers say World Cup fans have consumed over 17,000 hot dogs and over 15,000 orders of chicken strips.
And when it comes to restaurants and bars, the province is reporting that some of them are seeing an increase as high as 40%.
Those folks will definitely iterate that they have seen an increase in business. Of course, we've also heard the flip side where it's not universal, but at the same time, you know, this is a soccer event, soccer themed, and so anyone who has leaned into the soccer aspect of it has seen a considerable bump.
From loud cheers to colorful jerseys, fans continue to take in all of that action, and the final match at BC Place will be on July 7th. Benit Brach, CBC News, Vancouver.
In southeastern BC, businesses in Cranbrook are temporarily opening their doors to four-legged customers. New stickers placed on windows at local businesses show places willing to let leashed dogs inside on hot days. As Amber Wong reports, it's a way to keep dogs safe.
I don't want to see any more posts on the Cranbrook page of people leaving their dogs in hot cars. I want this to stop.
Darba Melanchuk says she has seen it happen in Cranbrook all too often. A dog left in the vehicle on a hot day. So Melanchuk has created dog-friendly on hot day stickers for local businesses. The idea is simple. If a shop has a sticker up, pet owners know they can bring leash dogs inside on hot days. Melanchuk says the stickers are meant to give people another option if they're already out with their pets. She says some businesses may not allow dogs all the time, but may be willing to make an exception during extreme heat. The Choice Shop in downtown Cranbrook is taking part. Co-owner Mike Peabody says joining the campaign was an easy way to support a local community initiative, but does worry a bit about safety.
As long as they're a friendly dog, we don't want any of our customers get nipped. But besides that, bring them in. We're happy.
Pet owner Carrie Montgomery has a small farm outside Cranbrook. She says summer safety matters for all animals.
He's like, do you have treats?
I don't think animals can communicate with you the same way, and I don't think they have a way to tell you that they're struggling or they're in despair. And it's our job to take those precautions ourselves.
The BC SPCA says a vehicle can heat up fast with temperatures more than doubling in minutes, and the safest option is to leave pets at home. In 2025, it says more than 600 files were opened after getting calls about animals in hot vehicles, and more than 140 have been opened this year. In severe cases, charges can be laid that could result in jail time. So far, Melanchuk says 11 businesses have joined, and she has made about 75 stickers. Amber Wong, CBC News, Cranbrook.
Protesters were out in full force over the weekend, rallying against 2 planned AI data centers in Vancouver. Find out why they don't want them in the city. That's next. Another protest against 2 planned AI data centers saw hundreds of people flood Vancouver streets Saturday. It's the second major demonstration in just over a month. As Shoria Chethri reports, organizers believe the projects would put a lot of pressure on the electrical grid and local water supply.
Hundreds marched from the Vancouver Art Gallery towards City Hall, calling for 2 planned AI data centers to be stopped.
As the size of this rally shows, there are certainly people who care.
One facility is planned for Mount Pleasant that's slated to come online later this year, the other planned for downtown Vancouver near BC Place in 2029. The project, a joint effort between TELUS, the City of Vancouver, and the federal government. Protesters say the public hasn't been given enough information about the environmental impact of the data centers, especially how much water they could use.
Population growth is already straining our water supplies.
Those concerns come as Metro Vancouver remains under Stage 3 water restrictions.
So much water being wasted, so much power being used.
So we can't even water our lawns, and they want to use more water.
A study by the International Energy Agency estimated data centers used 140 billion liters of water globally in 2023. The province has backed AI development in BC, but Premier David Eby says they are paying attention to people's concerns.
That's a concern of mine as well, which is why ensuring that these data centers are not mass consumers of water is a key interest.
Last fall, BC passed new rules for large AI and data center projects. Under that framework, massive energy users have to go through a competitive process before getting access to BC hydropower.
Just want to reassure people that we have those regulations in place, and that is key for British Columbia in terms of any centers going forward.
TELUS says its facilities will use 90% less water than a traditional data center and say they will recycle enough waste energy to heat 150,000 homes.
To just stand up and say no!
This is the second major protest against the planned data centers in Vancouver. Organizers say more demonstrations are planned over the coming months. Shaurya Chhetri, CBC News, Vancouver.
A Williams Lake mother whose daughter died by suicide last September is asking for stronger protections around Ottawa's proposed social media bill. Her daughter, Maddie Croswell, died after her family says social media repeatedly pushed harmful content onto her feed.
Parental controls alone are no match for powerful recommendation systems that continuously expose vulnerable children to emotionally harmful and dangerous content without their family's knowledge. Children deserve to grow up in an online world designed to protect them, not exploit their vulnerability.
She says the federal bill should include greater transparency around online age verification and the regulation of self-harm content targeting minors. Bill C-34 would force social media companies to block access for children under the age of 16, though platforms may get exemptions if they put safeguards in place. BC's Attorney General says children need help faster, and the province wanted to be involved when the regulations were written.
What they've set up is a framework that could take years to be in place, and kids cannot wait. The oversight that is for social media platforms and the accountability needs to be strong. Designed to be safe for children means some of the things that Chelsea was talking about. It means that companies should stop relying just on how much profit they can make and design their platforms to ensure safety and security for young people that are on there.
Sharma says she's pushing for more details from Ottawa on when the social media guidelines will become law and how they will be enforced. Here's a look at a beautiful summer day in Whistler. Steve Jung will have your full weather forecast coming up.
This is Vancouver is a new CBC podcast where we explore the issues, the stories, and the people that make this place home. Listen to This is Vancouver wherever you get your podcasts.
Hundreds of evacuees are on the move in the Northwest Territories as the threat of nearby wildfires grow. Residents of Fort Simpson, home to about 1,300 people on the Mackenzie River, have started arriving in Yellowknife, a 7-hour drive away. Kate Kyle is there.
The evacuation of Fort Simpson lasted through the night. 1,300 residents ordered out due to a growing wildfire. For many evacuees, that meant a 7-hour drive to Yellowknife.
I got diapers, a cot.
Clayton Contesenta convoyed with his family of 6.
Smoke started getting more thick and it darkened the skies, and then, it was a little stressful, and then when we took off.
They waited 3 hours to board the only ferry to get out of the community, while evacuation planes flew overhead.
A lot of people are like anxious and I guess impatient and I guess scared. They were honking the horns.
Rebecca Tetso left by air on an evacuation flight.
It's a very emotional stage for people, and just hoping everyone will stay safe back home, and hopefully the fire will go out.
Behind me is the smoke towards town, right? Normally you'd see a hill back there, but it's a little covered right now.
The mayor of Fort Simpson says 50% of the village has left.
I would say it was a good call to call the evacuation when they did, because everybody got out with no panic.
Wildfire officials worry the fire could soon get closer to the village.
There will be a period of time where winds are going to try and push this fire directly towards town.
There's also concern about several other fires across the Decho region. Another community further down the Mackenzie was also ordered to evacuate. Many of the 130 residents were told they'd be flown to Fort Smith. Wildfires are also burning near 2 key highways.
A lot of fire in this area and really complex management just based on sort of the terrain and limited access.
It's okay.
Clayton Contesenta is trying to keep his mind off the wildfire.
Once I'll get tired enough, I'll get some sleep. Yeah.
And like the growing number of evacuees, he's trying to keep busy, waiting for news. Kate Kyle, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Police who investigate complex cases say they have been changing the way they conduct big investigations. It's because of a 2016 Supreme Court ruling. The Jordan Rule laid out strict limits on the duration between the initial charges and the end of the trial. And as Ariana Kelland explains, it's adding challenges for investigators as technology and increasingly complex cases add more evidence to sift through.
This isn't your average everyday drug bust. Cash, drugs, even a semi-truck. In those boxes, drugs and tobacco. Lots of it.
Our focus is targeting organized crime groups who are involved in transnational drug trafficking, money laundering, cybercrime.
In other words, high-stakes cases targeting the big fish, huge investigations that can last years, often involving wiretaps and undercover operations.
We'll be talking about, hundreds of thousands of pages of disclosure, hundreds of hours of intercepted communications. So before that gets to court, we have to process all of that.
That takes time. The Jordan ruling has set limits to complete criminal trials, 18 months in provincial courts, 30 in superior courts, or risk having it all tossed out.
We've changed our practices now in order to comply with Jordan. We're arresting, we're disrupting, seizing the evidence, and then start processing all the disclosure.
Arrest first, charge later. Months or even up to a year down the road.
We have to make sure that we have the best possible product to provide to the courts.
If you don't or miss crucial deadlines, the consequences can be severe.
In fact, we had a relatively high-profile one here in Ontario recently out of Ottawa.
2 men, each charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and attempted murder in targeted bounty killings. Access to disclosure, a sticking point for Crown and defense. In the end, the judge ordered a stay of proceedings. It breached Jordan timelines.
My sense is that disclosure is a problem, a challenge. To some extent, that is because of the nature of disclosure.
Pachaco says the volume of evidence is higher today.
Even relatively simple trials today may come with reams of text messages, doorbell camera footage, police body camera footage.
For example, David Emberley says once upon a time, a drug dealer may have had one of these. Now it could be more like 6, making these cases a lot more complicated. Just this month in Western Newfoundland, drug-related charges against a man that Emberley's team had charged were stayed because the scheduled end of his trial was 7 days past that Jordan timeline, proving that even with the best laid plans, sometimes things go wrong. Ariana Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.
It's been more than 5 days since those powerful twin earthquakes rocked Venezuela. Rescue teams are still working around the clock looking for survivors in the hundreds of buildings that were destroyed. The CBC's Katie Simpson is at the Venezuelan border with the latest.
With every hour, with every minute that passes, the chances of finding survivors in Venezuela, it diminishes greatly. There's a critical window to find survivors trapped in the rubble of things like a natural disaster, like earthquakes, and that window has long passed, but still, there are some miraculous stories of survival. A 21-year-old man being pulled from a pile of debris after being trapped for 106 hours. He is alive, he is injured, but that rescue operation itself took some 43 hours. Now, there are rescue crews from all over the world taking part in this monumental effort, including from Canada, a team from Burnaby, BC, made up of police officers, firefighters, a paramedic, and 2 search and rescue dogs. They're on the ground right now, and they say that they're trying to provide whatever services are needed, whether it's search and rescue or medical services, and that they're working with local authorities to make sure they're best serving as they can in this very difficult moment. There are search and rescue crews from all over the world, from France, from Germany, from the United States, and we've seen them really leading a lot of these efforts. Venezuela continues to face intense criticism from the Venezuelan people over its lack of response, its inability to meet this moment in an emergency situation. After years of corruption and financial mismanagement during the Nicolas Maduro regime, some people that we've been speaking with who are Venezuelans say all of those challenges, the lack of investment, the corruption, in a time of need when those emergency and public services are very badly and urgently needed, they're not there to serve the people they're supposed to serve. And so there is an overwhelming sense of frustration that is mounting and turning into anger that is only getting bigger and bigger as the scale and scope of this crisis comes into focus. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Cucuta, Colombia.
A small Ontario town with a long mining history is set to be home to North America's first battery-grade cobalt refinery. Lisa Shing takes a closer look at the process and its potential impact on the global supply chain.
Work is progressing on the site of an old metals refinery to give it a new purpose.
When I look at free trade, right, this is going to be a big part of it. What can Canada do?
The new plant near Cobalt, Ontario would incidentally refine an element by the same name and turn it into an essential component of lithium-ion batteries, which go in everything from EVs and smartphones to fighter jets.
Increasingly, we need these critical minerals for our batteries and for our high-tech in order to function as a modern society.
Trent Mell is the founder of Electra Battery Metals, the company behind the $100 million project. He sees this place as a critical step in strengthening Canada's, even North America's economy. China currently has the critical mineral supply chain locked down, including mining and processing more than 3/4 of the world's refined cobalt. Beijing has also been unafraid to implement export controls on those materials, including in response to Donald Trump's trade war.
How much is something like this, a refinery, needed here in North America?
You know, the time to build your infrastructure is before you need it. Right? If a conflict strikes and you don't have this in place and you're reliant on a potential adversary, you've already lost the battle.
The refinery is in an area that has a long history of metals mining and processing. In the early 1900s, the discovery of silver fueled a boom, at its peak producing about 40% of the world's supply. But the town got its name after cobalt was unearthed. Years ago, Mel was prospecting for it in the area. Ironically, he did not find enough cobalt in cobalt. So it'll be shipped in from mines in the Democratic Republic of Congo, ethically sourced, says Electra.
So after this, the chemical process starts over here.
Yeah, so we've turned it to a slurry, and now we want to leach.
The facility has already received millions from the Canadian and Ontario governments and the U.S. Department of Defense. Both countries have made moves to guarantee domestic supply, like with this project and other agreements with different countries.
We're going to take out some of the rare earth and take out some of the assets and pay, and everybody's going to make a lot of money.
Once the Ontario plant is up and running, it would be the first in North America, expected to produce roughly 4% of global supply. Through several steps that will remove impurities, the refinery will turn this mined cobalt rock to this final product, crystallized cobalt sulfate.
So this is our primary leach vessel. So this is where we introduce the sulfuric acid, and we start to pull all of the metals out of their solid form and into solution.
The metals we don't want.
Yeah, in this case, it's cobalt that we do want to keep.
While 60% of the output is earmarked for South Korean company LG Energy Solutions, the final material will still have to undergo testing to guarantee its quality before the customer accepts it.
What is the standard you have to meet?
So we want to ensure that our final product has a high concentration of cobalt and a low concentration of impurities. There's a lot of specificity involved. So at each stage of the process, we're adjusting pHs, we're adjusting temperatures.
Building the midstream is very, very, very important.
The executive director of the Canadian Critical Minerals and Materials Alliance says that refining piece, that middle stream, could be Canada's contribution to the supply chain, at least at first.
If there's cobalt, in Canada, we could stop importing the cobalt as you scale up and de-risk your chemtech processing. And that's really, really hard. It takes a lot of talent and risk.
That risk is why Mel is playing it safe for now.
This is a case of a Western company copying what's happening in China. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. In fact, there have been cases of people trying to reinvent the wheel and they ended in spectacular failures.
The goal, finish construction early next year and ramp up production by the end of 2027.
The death toll is climbing in Europe as a heat wave continues to plague the continent. We'll have more on that after the break. A deadly record-breaking heat dome has moved across Europe, with the continent's eastern nations now facing 40-degree temperatures. And as Anna Cunningham explains, the high number of heat-related fatalities in France have overwhelmed the country.
This heat wave has been long and intense for Europe. In France, the authorities are reporting that over 9 days, at least 1,000 people have died in incidents related to the heat. Funeral homes in the French capital, Paris, are now reporting that they are under pressure, rapidly running out of space and being overwhelmed with the need to safely store the bodies of those who have died. Take a look at this heat map and you will see how this heat wave has moved from the west of Europe and is now heading across the east, particularly towards the Balkan countries. Over the weekend, there were high temperatures in Berlin, in Germany, where the police used water cannons to cool people down. And in Hungary, people have been making use of the cold water that's being misted up from the streets. It's been a very similar situation as well in Lithuania and Czechia. But there is one country that is finding these high temperatures particularly difficult to deal with, and that is Ukraine. There are concerns about how the country's energy infrastructure will cope, given that it is already under intense pressure from those military attacks by Russia. The head of one Ukrainian energy company describing this as a serious test for equipment that has been operating under wartime conditions for more than 4 years. There are now millions of people across Europe who have been experiencing this intense heat wave, and records being broken for June temperatures across multiple countries. The World Health Organization is saying that European nations are not made for these temperatures and that lessons need to be learned, and many of those countries need to adapt. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
Steve Jung is back with another look at our weather, and I see you're starting off with that fire danger rating map. Steve?
Well, Janella, I'm starting with this because we have seen some changes over the last few days. As we ended last week, we were actually seeing a very encouraging sign. We saw large parts of the province under low fire danger rating. It has changed a little bit, and we do see some moderate to high fire danger along coastal areas and also parts of the south coast, as well as southern interior and also the Cariboo region. But if we look at central BC and then up in the north, large chunks now under low to very low fire danger. So it looks like the rain that we've gotten over the last few days, over the weekend, has really helped with this, and the forecast, the rain that we're anticipating in different parts of the different parts of the province is helping as well. But in saying that, we are expecting some unsettled weather conditions tonight, as well as we head into tomorrow. And then if we take a look here, Fort St. John, Prince George, as well as Williams Lake, and also Kamloops and Kelowna, we're seeing a risk of thunderstorms in these areas for tomorrow. And for tonight, we did hear from Environment Canada earlier today that there is currently a possibility of severe thunderstorms over Kamloops and also parts of the western parts of the Kootenay region. So large hail is possible, strong winds, heavy rain. If those storm conditions do roll around, make sure you are indoors and safe. But for tomorrow, we can see temperatures for the most part pretty cool, low, high teens, low 20s in a lot of areas. In Kamloops and Kelowna, 22 to 24 degrees, which is a whole lot cooler compared to earlier on a few days ago when we saw those temperatures in the low 30s. But over the next couple of days, we can expect some showers, heavy at times, but still coming in quite scattered over large parts of the province. It's really as we get to Thursday afternoon and into Friday that we see more of these systems forming over BC and bringing more precipitation to the province, including here on the south coast. And as we take a look at accumulations, we can see a decent amount of rain expected to fall as we head towards this upcoming weekend. As we get to Saturday, see those pockets of yellow, 40 to 60 millimeters of accumulation around the Peace region. We can also see that in some southeastern parts of the province as well. But here here in Metro Vancouver on the south coast. As we get to the midweek point about Wednesday on Canada Day, we're expecting some showers to make its way to our region, but really coming in possibly maybe even as a little bit of drizzle, not a whole lot coming to our area, unfortunately. And as we take a look at conditions for tomorrow for the south coast, you can see lots of cloud cover, but peaks of blue sky over some regions, a chance of showers in Lytton and in Whistler, mix of sun and cloud for Vancouver, and a chance of showers in the Fraser Valley as well. Temperatures for the most part in the low 20s, fairly cool for this time of year. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast for Metro Vancouver, mix of sun and cloud as we talked about for tomorrow. And then as we get to the midweek point, again, there it is again. There is that chance of showers, possibly still coming in as a little bit of drizzle as we get through Canada Day. And then as we end the week, temperatures heating up on Saturday and a mix of sun and cloud to take us to the beginning of the weekend.
All right. Thanks so much, Steve.
My pleasure.
6 people have been shot and killed at a shelter for women and children in northern Germany. The victims, 4 women and 2 men, were all staff members at the shelter. Police say 3 people have been arrested, including the suspected gunman who was in a custody dispute over his young daughter. Neither the child nor her mother were physically harmed. An Ontario Conservation Authority has a new program to help detect invasive species before they harm the local environment. As Talia Ricci shows us, their secret weapon in the fight is a 4-legged friend named Tilly.
As playful as she may appear, this pup is hard at work. Specially trained with the ability to detect high-risk invasive species before they become established in our conservation areas.
Search. We selected Tilly from working line Labrador Retriever breeders. They're more of the working line and a higher drive. Search! What we do is we focus on one single target box, and when she was 8-9 weeks old, we would feed her over that target odor, and we would get her acclimatized to that odor, and then we would feed up through the middle of the box, getting her to sort of drop her nose into the box and wait patiently for the food reward. Good girl.
The pilot project with Tilly is starting with Credit Valley conservation sites. Trainer Tony Pilata says while they've worked with dogs to detect bedbugs before, this is the first time they've trained a dog to detect invasive species outdoors.
These dogs, or Tilly at the very least, is trained to find the actual eggs and larvae, which is not giving off a lot of odors. So people would assume that, you know, there's this massive odor plume coming off of these targets. These are literally eggs from very small insects.
Now that Tilly is ready for the job, staff at Credit Valley Conservation are taking over the program and facilitating maintenance training and deployment. They say the use of a detection dog is more accurate and cost-effective than conventional field surveys.
We're focused on 3 species, 2 insects, hemlock woolly adelgid, spotted lanternfly, and then 1 species of crayfish, red swamp crayfish. And we're targeting these species, the 2 insects, because they're not yet here. They're close by, and they have the potential to be introduced to become really big problems. And we'd like to be able to react to them and stop the problem. The crayfish, red swamp crayfish, was just introduced to us down in Mississauga last year. So we're going to use Tilly to see the extent of the distribution.
Credit Valley Conservation says invasive species poses one of the greatest threats to forests, biodiversity, and local economies. They spread rapidly and often have irreversible impacts.
Piloting this program and showing how successful it is applicable to large scale to go to other conservation areas potentially.
Tilly is expected to be out beginning detection work this summer. And as tempting as it may be to pet her, the public is asked not to interact with Tilly while she's on the job. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
Still ahead, it was a goal and a game that changed everything as Ontario's Stefan Eustachio's goal keeps Canada in the World Cup a little longer. That's next. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
CBC is back as the exclusive media partner for the Squamish Nation Youth Powwow, July 10th to 12th. This family-friendly event welcomes everyone to celebrate Indigenous culture and community. Details at SquamishNationYouthPowwow.com. And on Sunday, July 5th, join CBC as the Vancouver Bandits take the court for the Indigenous Heritage Game. Take your shot against Jeremy Ratt at the Bandits Backyard Barbecue and win CBC swag.
A new sports hero has emerged in Canada. Leamington, Ontario's Stefan Eustáquio scored a critical goal, keeping the team's World Cup dream alive a little longer.
The CBC's Chien Desjardins has more on Canada's knockout round victory against South Africa.
It's a sight Mauro Eustáquio can't get enough of.
You know, the whole team, celebrate together, the fans in the stands, like everybody's jumping.
His little brother Stefan scoring the biggest goal in Canadian men's soccer history.
It's just a historical moment. Like, I think it's something that we don't know just quite yet how big it is and how big it will be for the future.
And the country went wild. With the clock running out, Eustáquio fired the ball past the South African goalkeeper. The strike enough to get Canada through to the round of 16 for the first time.
The technical ability that goal required to finish that with such precision, with such class. It was an incredible moment for him, for the team, and for the sport in our country.
The significance not lost on fans either.
He'll be history from now on for sure. He wrote his name on the football world.
This was Eustáquio's 60th appearance with the Canadian men's national team. He grew up playing mostly in Portugal, but first learned in Leamington in southwestern Ontario, where he was born.
My first instinctive reaction to cheer, and then when I realized, it was that split second that Stefan scored, it was twice as good.
As fans coast to coast celebrated, Eustáquio told TSN in a post-game interview it was family on his mind.
Everything I do is for my family, for my parents, for my girlfriend, for my daughter, for my brother.
He lost both of his parents in recent years, and his brother knows, just like the country, they would be so proud.
It is a sport that we in our household, we lived it, we loved it. We'll always remember our parents, and especially in these moments.
Canada's toughest test yet is still to come on Saturday, when the Canadians will face one of the best teams in the world, while hoping this incredible run isn't over. Chien Desjardins, CBC News, Toronto.
I turned on the game just in time to see that goal.
And was it magical?
It was.
I can only assume people were on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to in the next game.
Yes, which is coming up
July 4th.
this weekend.
Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News. You can watch this newscast on our free CBC Gem app, as well as on YouTube and on our website at cbc.ca/bc.
I'll have your next local news at 11 o'clock right after the National. Have a great night.
Good night.